International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus, we shall take a look at how Ghana is boosting local rice production for economic growth. And later, year-on-year inflation rate for August 2023 drops to 40.1% from 43.1% recorded in July 2023.
Hi there, thanks for tuning in to another edition of International Trade Focus. On this week's episode, we shall take a look at Ghana's concerted effort to transform its rice production industry, moving from heavy reliance on imports to bolstering domestic production. Now, this episode seeks to underscore the evolving landscape of rice as a staple crop and highlights the importance of policy initiatives and investments Ghana has taken geared towards ensuring quality to achieve self-sufficiency and also to enable Ghana participate effectively in international trade, particularly within the African Continental Free Trade Area. My name is Anas Pio and this is International Trade Focus. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL, Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agri and Home, Public Elegance and Pediassi Valley Resort. Stay tuned.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, Truly Agric and more.
What is all this? Why can't we ever seem to get this right? Our meetings are always chaotic, and that's why we are never able to plan efficiently. I have to do something now.
Yes, don't we all love solutions? Pediassi Valley Resort welcomes you to the stunning surrounds of the Eastern Highlands of Ghana for your next business meeting, seminar, retreat, or conference.
All their venues are equipped with the latest audiovisual technology as well as their very able conference and banqueting staff. At Pediassi Valley Resort, you will work in peace and relaxation, coupled with scenes and adventures at the Bree Botanical Gardens, the Art Village, and many more. If you find yourself in my situation, remember, Pediassi Valley Resort is your #1 solution. Pediassi Valley Resort. Live life.
The theme of this week's Focal Point segment revolves around the transformation challenges and initiatives within Ghana's rice industry, emphasizing the importance of domestic production and reducing reliance on imports. Our Focal Point segment comes up next. In the world of staple cash crops, rice has transformed from being widely consumed to becoming one of the most heavily invested in. In Ghana, rice continues to dominate the import sector both before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. This is despite significant effort and strategies being poured into the sector to address the deficit in domestic rice supply. In 2022, Ghana found itself importing approximately 60% of its rice consumed, amounting to a staggering $391 million per year, according to the United States Department of Agriculture. While producing around 1.3 million metric tons in 2021, with exports reaching $216,000, it became evident that a policy overhaul and a restructuring of the rice sector were necessary to meet local demand and explore export opportunities. Policy revisions and strategic initiatives within the rice sector included the active enforcement of an import substitution plan, the Planting for Food and Jobs program, various rice promotion campaigns like Eat Ghana Rice, and a concerted effort to attract investors into Ghana's rice industry. In October 2022, during his address to the nation, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo highlighted the importance of prioritizing import by revising the standards required for import into the country. He emphasized that goods like rice could be manufactured in sufficient quantities within Ghana to ensure that majority of the products in local shops and markets are produced and grown domestically.
The success of our efforts at diversifying the structure of the Ghanaian economy from an import-based one to a value-added exporting one is what will, in the long term, help strengthen our economy. We're making some progress with the 1D1F, but our current situation requires that we take some more stringent measures to discourage the importation of goods that we can and do produce here. To this end, we will review the standards required for imports into the country. We will prioritize the imports, as well as review the management of our foreign exchange reserves in relation to imports of products such as rice, poultry, vegetable oil, toothpicks, pasta, fruit juice, bottled water, and ceramic tiles, and others, which with intensified government support and that of the banking sector, can be manufactured and produced in sufficient quantities in Ghana. We must, as a matter of urgent national security, reduce our dependence on imported goods and enhance our self-reliance, as demanded by our overarching goal of creating a Ghana beyond aid. Much as we believe in free trade, we must work to ensure that the majority of goods in our shops and marketplaces are those we produce and grow here in Ghana. That is why we have to support our farmers and domestic industries, including those created under the 1D1F initiative, to help reduce our dependence on imports and allow us the opportunity to export more and more of our products and guarantee a stable currency that will present a high level of predictability for citizens and the business community. Exports, not imports, must be our mantra.
As the plans for rice import substitution unfolded, the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, another government strategy aimed at boosting production and reducing the import of commodities like rice, began to take shape. The Minister for Agriculture, Brian Echampon, revealed that during the first phase of the Planting for Food and Jobs program, Ghana's rice imports significantly dropped from about 950,000 metric tons to 500,000 metric tons, while local rice production increased to 1,150,000 190,000 metric tons in 2022. This marked a substantial improvement for the country, with the government committed to achieving food and raw materials sufficiency during the 5-year plan of the second phase of Planting for Food and Jobs.
When it comes to the production of rice, the data shows that it has improved from 667,000 metric tons in 2016 to 1,190,000 metric tons in 2022. Unfortunately, more than half of the paddy we produce is shipped out of the country, depriving local processors of access to raw materials. Indeed, we recognize the unavailability of large processors with the financial wherewithal to procure and process the paddy. This we shall fix. Mr. President, the above are examples of the potentials and bottlenecks that can easily be harnessed to the benefit of our food security and resilience agenda. Mr. President, in dealing with the wider potentials, the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2 has been designed as a bold, innovative, and comprehensive approach to tackle head-on the hurdles on our food security journey. The underpinning model, which is the input credit system, will solve a number of critical challenges, namely access to credit, quality of agro inputs, the unstructured markets of our agricultural produce, and low mechanization, among others. The Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2, as approved by Cabinet, is a 5-year plan to attain food and raw material self-sufficiency in the following 10 crops and poultry.
While Ghana works diligently to reduce its dependence on imported rice and promote locally made rice through its policies, the role of investors cannot be underestimated. With Ghana's current rice supply deficit reaching about 360,000 metric tons annually, Mr. Joseph Siao Ejapong, the executive chairman of the Jospon Group of Companies, a logistics handling firm in Ghana, expressed interest in venturing into local rice production during a meeting with Honorable Katie Hammond, the Minister of Trade and Industry, in April 2023. This project aims to address at least 40% of the rice supply deficit while creating approximately 30,000 jobs. Japan, Ghana's investor, also made a significant move by signing a 471 million yen agreement in 2023 to enhance rice seed production capacity. This move is geared toward meeting the rising demand of rice consumption in Ghana and improving the quality of certified seeds through necessary equipment upgrades. While local rice production has received ample attention to tackle supply deficits and reduce excessive imports, the challenge of elevating the quality of rice for economic growth remains. Ghana's mission extends beyond merely producing rice that meets exportation standards. The country also aims to produce rice of export quality that aligns with the requirement of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Time now for our in-depth segment. Now, our reporter Ellen Frimpong held a conversation with Dr. Solomon Jan Ansah. He is the Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The focus of their discussion revolved around Ghana's primary imported agricultural commodity, which is rice. Their dialogue delved into the strategies and measures geared towards enhancing local production of rice as a means to foster economic growth within the country. Our in this segment comes up next.
Hello, you're welcome to International Trade Focus. Today we are discussing how Ghana can effectively boost local rice production for economic growth. Joining us in this discussion is the Director from the Directorate of Crops of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Solomon Jan Ansah. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so sir, one thing we know for sure is that rice is a staple crop in Ghana. It's also one of the most consumed. However, we do import a lot of rice. What I would like to find out is, why do we import so much rice according to your department?
Well, I think we do import so much rice because we have our limits, you see, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the land that we can develop. So long as we have that limit, that is what we can produce. And if what we produce doesn't meet the demand of the consumers, what do? We definitely have to import because we cannot sit down for our people to be hungry.
Could you briefly tell us the concept of import substitution, rice import substitution?
Rice import substitution is very simple. All that the president wants us to do is to boost up the local rice production, you see, so that we cut down on imports considerably. And that is the whole idea.
How can we, as Ghana in general, exploit the rice sector to cut down on imports and also to make Ghana a solid rice exporter?
Well, this I think is a very big question that you have asked me.
Open-ended.
I'm telling you, and this one, it cuts across the rice value chain. And when we talk of the rice value chain, it consists of both the seed value chain as well as the grain value chain. And these two value chains must be integrated. So first and foremost, I will start. We need to get the best of rice varieties. And it starts with the rice seed. You see, if you have a quality seed, then it means it's a good starter. We are fortunate that our research institutes, as well as the universities, they have released good varieties of rice that our farmers are producing. And some of the qualities that our consumers want. They want rice that is slender, that is long grain, that is aromatic. And we are fortunate that we having that one in Ghana now. So now that we have the rice, then the second is about land. You see, we have limitations so far as the land development is concerned. We have a number of potential valleys countrywide. You go to Bunu East, you go to the North, Upper East. Unfortunately, land development is very, very expensive. So until we are able to open up, you see, these lands, that's in the inland valleys, there is no way we can boost up the rice production because the irrigated areas are limited as compared to what we call it the rain-fed rice is in production. The lowlands as well as the uplands.
As a directorate of crops, what are you doing to increase the production of rice?
For Directorate of Crop Services, first and foremost, just like I said, we, so far as the National Variety Release and Registration Committee is concerned, we chair that committee and we ensure that the best of rice varieties will be released in the system. So that one is key. Two, we come out with manual guides and then fact sheets. And sometimes we even work with extension so that we could get the best of agronomic practices, leaflets and other things. It goes down to the regions and to the districts. And once the farmers are also cultivating the rice, we sometimes backstop to ensure that we are able to increase the productivity.
We can conclusively say that it is one way that crop sector is helping reduce the prices of rice on the market.
Yes. You see, the point is once you ensure that productivity is increased, then definitely you are also working on the price.
One thing consumers do complain about most of the time is the quality of rice, local rice in Ghana. So is there something being done to increase the quality of local rice on the market?
Yes, a lot is being done. See, when we talk of quality, then we are talking about the post-harvest aspect of the value chain. And quality of rice, it means you must have a quality mill. You see, here's the case where government is supporting the private sector to get the best of mills. You see, so that when they mill the paddy, the efficiency of the white rice or whatever comes out will really be good. You see. So it's something that it's being done. Apart from that, we have some laboratories that are attached to the mills that they ensure that they check the quality of the paddy as well as the quality of the milled rice. So something is being done. One thing that I can also tell you is that, you see, those who even have the mills, we as crop services, we go to them, we go around and then look at the components of the mills. Some of them may not have the stoleness, so we advise them that they have to buy the stolen, so that whatever output that comes out will be quality for the Ghanaians. We don't want a situation where this time round you take a local rice, you see, you cook it, and then you what we call, when you are eating, then you crack some stones and other things. No, it's not the best. We want to take that thing out and ensure that we get the best of quality to be able to compete with the imported rice.
So recently the government launched phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs. What sort of improvements should we look forward to? And what improvements have been made since the first launch?
Oh, for the first launch of the Planting for Food and Jobs, what I would say is that, in fact, through the private sector, we're able to supply farmers with quality seeds and fertilizers and with the best extension services, so they were able to increase their productivity. In 2016, rice self-sufficiency rate in Ghana was around 29%. In 2022, it jumped up to about 49 to 50%. So you can imagine the kind of achievement that we made. So it means we are producing a lot of this local rice. Nonetheless, in phase 2, I think we need to go more. We need to go more because in phase 1, we were focusing on direct subsidy, and now we want to make sure that it's an input credit system. And for the input credit system, there is what we call a slogan. All that you need is land, yes. And once you have the land, I mean, government will ensure that there is government will guarantee for the aggregators to get the quality inputs from the input suppliers that they want. And then this time round, it is commercialization because during the first phase, we were just working, I think the maximum number of hectares that you can do was about 2 hectares. But now we want to make sure that the farmers, they grow. We want to bring machinery, equipment and other things to ensure that we commercialize the farms and increase the productivity. And once we increase the productivity, the pricing that you are talking about, the prices will come down considerably. And apart from that, having an aggregator in phase 2, this aggregator will ensure that the farmers are signed onto a platform. And this aggregator will be responsible for getting the inputs for those farmers. And once the farmers use the inputs to cultivate, the aggregator will ensure that there is extension services, there is mechanization services to increase productivity. Once the produce is in, the aggregator will ensure that the input work is paid in the form of produce to a designated warehouse. And at the back of the warehouse, there will be off-takers who will also pick the quality produce. So the Ghana this commodity exchange will be there trading. They will be doing the trading in the warehouse. And one aspect of this PFJ phase 2 is that whatever is in the warehouse, about 5, especially the grains, 5% of them will be taken into the buffer stock. Yes, the buffer stock can be used to more or less regulate prices when times are hard.
If you're just tuned in, you're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. Our reporter Ellen Frimpong talks to Dr. Solomon Jan Ansah, the Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Now, the conversation is about boosting local rice production in Ghana for economic growth.
What is all this? Why can't we ever seem to get this right? Our meetings are always chaotic, and that's why we are never able to plan efficiently. I have to do something now.
Yes, don't we all love solutions? Tebiase Valley Resort welcomes you to the stunning surrounds of the Eastern Highlands of Ghana for your next business meeting, seminar, retreat, or conference.
All their venues are equipped with the latest audiovisual technology, as well as their very able conference and banqueting staff. At Tebiase Valley Resort, you will work in peace and relaxation, coupled with scenes and adventures at the Bree Botanical Gardens, the Art Village, and many more. If you find yourself in my situation, remember, Peduasi Valley Resort is your #1 solution. Peduasi Valley Resort. Live life.
Ohima, no be me I take a number first.
By you, did you tell you say take the number give me?
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really?
Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talking about what?
Mate.
Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fuel up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
I'm on the bus to see how I try to crown one patch. My short to fool, Mr. Wa. If any times not on me bow.
Sorry, Tony got hit first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for na buajungwa mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy.
A warm welcome back. You're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our Index segment. On our Index segment this week, we're having a conversation with Dr. Jan Ansah. He is the Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Now, we are talking about boosting local rice production in Ghana for economic growth.
Could you tell us what roles investors are playing to increase local rice production?
Yeah, you see, as government, we always try as much as possible to talk to investors. That, after all, both local and then international investors. That so far as the rice is concerned, it has a huge potential. So they should invest into it along the value chain, along the rice value chain. When I talk about the rice value chain, if it comes to the seed systems like this, we are attracting investments to come into the seed system. Let me give you one example. We have Seedco. Seedco is in Ghana. I think it's a company in Zimbabwe, and now they are selling even Seedco. They are doing some trials so far as rice is concerned, so that they will release a better rice for our consumers. So that is one. And then investments in the mills. Investment in the government cannot do it all.
Yeah.
So we are asking investors to invest in efficient mills, so that whatever will turn out from the mills will be of the quality that we like, which will make us compete with the international world. Yes.
So when it comes to
and then investment in land development, I told you,
yes.
Land development is very, very, very expensive. So we need people to really come and help us to invest. And I need to tell you, government cannot do it all. All that government can do is to create the enabling environment, and then, if possible, give some incentives, maybe tax incentives in the form of waivers or something. But it is the private sector that must really drive the rice industry along the value chain. So, PFD Phase 2, let me mention some of the principles, is private sector driven. It's value chain focused, okay, and inclusivity. And when I say inclusivity, we don't want to leave the women, even the aged. If they have that distinct, they can really work, we don't mind. They have to be on the farm, on the commercial farms, to ensure that we increase our productivity.
So when it comes to foreign rice investors, most of these foreign companies have their rice imported here in Ghana. Wouldn't that cause or pose challenges for?
Yeah, I think that is why we are bringing in the quota system. Let me give you just cite an example to you. Just about 2 weeks ago, I visited Olam. Olam is a foreign rice investor. They import a lot of rice into the system. And when I went there, they said they have organized some farmers in the Volta region. And this is where the rice, the import substitution comes. They are going to give these farmers inputs. And when they produce the paddy, they are going to mail it and then and then sell it as local rice. So you see it. So if the foreign investors are they even want to really work with us.
What incentives and supports are being given to them to encourage local rice production, more local rice, and to encourage new farmers to actually go into rice production?
First and foremost, what I would like to tell you is that we have a problem with, should I say, is it land? How do you say it? Problem with land. If a farmer needs land, sometimes it's very difficult to get it. So that's an area where sometimes we talk to the chiefs and other things to make land available for this kind of rice cultivation. So that is one. Then two, like I told you, the seeds and the fertilizers. PFJ phase 1 did extremely well. We ensured that at a point in time, some of the seeds, it was about 80% subsidy. There was 80% subsidy on it. So we were able to get quality seeds for our farmers, as well as quality fertilizers. And our farmers were so happy. Then dedicated extension services. You can decide to give the best of seeds to farmers, the best of fertilizers, but if you don't teach them exactly how to do the cultivation, forget it. There's no way they can increase their productivity. So these are some of the things that we do. And we also do a lot of what we call it, should I say, workshops and other things to promote consumption of the local rice. And we bring in champions. Sometimes we even bring some of our president's wife and other things to promote the local rice. We're working extremely hard so far as the rice is concerned.
Are farmers being prepared in a particular way to involve themselves in the EFCFTA to increase exports?
Because when we talk of exports, for me, I think it's the prerogative of the Ministry of Trade. But the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, we have to do a little bit about it. So we have a desk at the ministry, and all that we can do is that, in fact, the ministry has been decentralized. We have our regional departments of agriculture and then the district departments of agriculture. And it is the district departments of agriculture who are in touch with the farmers. So it means that flow really has to come. So it means that our desk here, and even all the officials of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, we really have to understand what the after is. After which then we will cascade it to the regions, then to the districts, then they will break it down in such a way that the farmers too can really benefit. That's the way I see it. We are yet to do it, but I know it will happen.
It's a gradual process.
It is.
Could you tell me some of the challenges that the Directorate or the ministry in general is facing when it comes to boosting local rice production?
Even access to land is one, then the land development is one, then irrigation infrastructure. We want to produce this rice all year round, and we have limitations so far as our irrigation infrastructure is concerned. The government wants, we are trying to expand those irrigation infrastructure that we have. And when we talk of resilience, for me it is water. Once you have water all year round, it means you can produce what? Rice. Yes. So our irrigation infrastructure needs to be expanded, and it's limited now. So we need more investors to come and really ensure that we have the best of infrastructure to get our rice in large quantities. Even during the dry season, we should be able to have our rice in the field. Then, of course, the major one, which is a monster, inadequate financing. And that one, it cuts across the value chain. Everywhere you need money. Without money, you cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes with this one too, what I may have to mention is sometimes the enabling policy environment. See, here is the case where we have developed a solid 5-year strategy for rice. We don't want a situation where, excuse me to say, a new government will come and then this rice strategy will be put in on the shelves to gather dust. We really have to make sure that we run with it. So these are some of the challenges that we have.
We've had a fruitful discussion. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our discussion with you. If there is anything you would like to add, you can add as well.
Ekwafue. That's what rice farmers, they are my friends. Please, we really want to ensure that by 2027, we are self-sufficient in rice production in Ghana. So please, all value chain actors, let us put our hands on deck. Every little thing that we can do as a private sector, as government, as NGO, let's ensure that we do it efficiently so that we can get quality rice in Ghana that can really compete with the imported ones. So that someday, 2027, we'll be proud and see that we are at least self-sufficient. I will not even mention of export. We need to be self-sufficient first. We need to get food for our people, quality rice to eat in all forms.
And that does it for our in-depth segment. News and events comes up shortly. Don't go away. And it's a wrap for this week's episode. Join us same time next week for some more on international trade-related activities here in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus is brought to you by Gore Good Energy, ADB, Truly Agric and More, Public Elegance and Pediasi Valley Resort. My name is Anna Spio. Join us same time next week. Bye-bye.